What's up? It's your favorite Northern Belle, aka it's your girl Jor, and welcome back to another episode of So Hear Me Out the podcast. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday to you all. Thank you so much for the love on the last two episodes. We are on episode 3, season 2, and we keeping the thing going, okay? We keeping the dice rolling on this thing, okay? So hear me out. Are you preparing yourself for what's next? A random, very big question, but just follow me on this. We are talking about stewardship. So, we're going to give you the definition of stewardship. Stewardship is the job of supervising or taking care of something such as an organization or property. Now, if you're a believer in God and Jesus, we're going to get a little biblical on you. First Peter chapter 4 verse 10 says, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." The other day, I was scrolling on TikTok, as I do, and I have been trying to strengthen my relationship with God. I'm on a journey of strengthening that relationship. That looks different for everybody, because it doesn't happen at the same time for everyone. And while I know and acknowledge God, I definitely know that there are things that I could be doing better with all things, right? Um, I think I am trying to get out of being a cold or lukewarm Christian. I want to be a hot Christian, and not in the physical sense, because duh, I already am. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Um, but in the sense of my faithfulness and my serving. So I had been scrolling on TikTok, like I said, and one lady was talking about stewardship. And it really triggered this episode because she talked about how you are saying that you want this and you want that, but you're not preparing. So let's use it in modern day senses, right? So let's use a trip, for example. If you're going on vacation, since that's been the theme of pretty much the last two episodes, if you're going on vacation, you know vacation prep is pretty much more expensive or just as expensive as the trip, right? So getting your nails done, getting your hair done, getting waxed if that's what you do, packing the clothes, buying the flights, upgrading the flights if you don't want to wait, TSA pre-check if you want to get that before your trip, making sure you have arrangements for things like if you have a pet, where are they going to stay, cleaning your house before you go because you want to come back to a clean home. Those things all go into being prepared. And I don't know about you guys, but I could not see myself going on a vacation without those things being taken care of, right? So, because when you come back, you want a great home so that you can move forward and do whatever else you have to do. Even as simple as studying for an exam in school or even exam for work for a certification, you want to prepare for this so that you can move on to the next thing, right? So that to me is what stewardship is. You have been giving a gift, and you're supposed to use it to take care of not only yourself but others as well. So for me and my stewardship, circling back, I needed to readjust and refocus um over the things that I have been given to steward over. So my home. Everybody wants to have a dream home, right? And instead of worrying about when you move to the next place, you'll get this and you'll do that, and you want it to be looking like this and you will have that, what can you do right now to show God appreciation for how he got you to this place? Oh, am I talking to somebody out there? what what can you do in your home right now to make God see that you're thankful for this, right? So for me, that is the every Saturday doing the cleaning of the house. But during the week, of course, picking up, because I'm thankful that I'm able to be in this position and living in this space and taking care of it. That also has to do with me configuring my space to be something that if someone needed to stay the night, someone that I know, of course, not just a random stranger, someone that I know needs to stay the night, I don't want to be rushing and not have a house that looks good in my eyes. It doesn't have to be a mansion. It doesn't have to be a 15 bedroom, 49 bath, right? It needs to be something that I take care of, that I can use to be a vessel for somebody else, use as another blessing to somebody else. Um, I also think that my gift is the ability to talk. I obviously do it on the side, i.e., this podcast, and I also do it at work. Being an HR representative, I am able to talk and able to not manipulate, but empathize and relate and take emotions and put them into words. I have, for what I've known for a very long time of myself, I've been able to put things into words very easily. It came very easily for me, and it needed to be something that I could use to serve others. So, of course, I can advocate for myself, but being able to advocate for somebody else is something huge to me. So, stewarding over the gift of being able, the gift of gab, right? Being able to talk, being able to communicate, that is the thing that I try to steward over. So, being able to get my talking in when I can, reading up on my synonym dictionary, using different words, different things like that to show God thank you. Also, by being able to pray and even share the same scripture, even though it was only one verse and it may resonate to somebody else, but using that to say thank you to God for giving me this platform and giving me this voice, stewarding over that. So I just wanted to use those two examples because we're going to dive in a little deeper. When you are stewarding over something, it is not easy. I talked on last season with Kilo and we talked about being a chosen person. It's hard being endowed, being, picked for God's purpose is hard. It's not an easy thing, and it's not easy to steward over something. And let's be very clear, I don't know exactly what my gift is. I'm not exactly sure what my specific blessing is from God, if I could be very honest. I think that I have a couple of talents. I think that I'm good at certain things, but I don't know if that's exactly the one that God asked me to use so much. So I try to use every one that I can to get back to the kingdom. That is hard when you're not completely sure of one, what you're doing, two, if it's, gonna be the right thing, and three, if you don't have a way to use it. So me not belonging to a church home in my city that I live in right now, it has definitely been weighing on me. I would love to serve the kingdom in a way that I didn't have to do it only for this podcast. I would love to do it in other ways. And I know that my social media can be that as well. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a shift in the way that I view social media and the way that I use social media and what you guys see and hear from me. So I have never been someone who wasn't transparent about those kind of things. So I just wanted to keep it a stack, keep it real with y'all. It is going to be a transition in things, just because my main focus right now is to focus on God and our relationship. I, of course, am going to nurture my relationships with others, but that is the priority. And that is something that I'm learning to steward over. My relationship with God, my relationships, period. But the one with Him is something that I need to take the time to do better with. It is something that I think as a young people, some of us are, on different sides of the spectrum where I'm young and I can get it together when I'm older, or maybe this is for me where I'm older and I can't just rely on my grandmother's and my mother's prayer to get me through. I have to be the one to get down on my knees and say thank you and to pray and to thank Him in advance and to just talk to Him. I'm not unfamiliar with the concept. I'm not unfamiliar with doing that. It's just making it a thing that normally happens. That's regular. That's part of my routine. And just not being, I wouldn't say ashamed, but not being shy about it. So I have been looking into doing things differently. My daily routine has changed. There are different things that are going on that I feel like this is what my focus should be on. So that's what it is going to be. I feel like I'm ranting. But on stewarding, I think that I have identified the gifts that I've been given, and I want to nurture those and hone in on those and just take the time and read through God's word and understand what the gifts I need to use are and listen out for his voice. And it's hard when you don't really know what the voice you're looking for is. But I believe that it's something that you can do. To me, if I could be real with y'all real quick, when I think of stewarding, I think of preparing, right? So some people call it nesting, but for me, I think it's really just a check yourself when you're stewarding and when you're getting ready to start focusing on that. So if you're going to say, oh, I'm going to be my most healthy self, I'm going to be my most 100% happy, pure self, it does not only go into the weights that you're lifting or the cardio that you're doing. It goes into the diet. We all understand this, right? It goes into your diet. It also goes into the things that you are listening to and viewing. And nobody wants to hear that because everybody loves a little ratchet TV. But it goes into those things. Have you ever noticed, and maybe not everybody, but for me, after I watch ratchet TV that hasn't been scripted, or even if it has been scripted, I feel heavy. I feel argumentative. I feel like I want to fight. It is not a good feeling. I cannot consume stuff like that, and especially not a whole lot of it. I literally do not want to talk to people after I watch stuff like that. I would rather watch my, scripted TV shows because they're supposed to be that way. Just to go into that. And of course, the music that you listen to, that goes into that as well. I'm weeding in and out, going back and forth. Again, this is the lukewarm of trying to learn a little bit more about myself, but I can't want to steward over my health and take care of my health if I'm not 100% devout to that. Also, for people that are like, oh, I want to advance in my career, let's be for real. Are you showing up to work on time? Are you doing things to further yourself? Come on, be for real. If you're someone who says, oh, I want the dream house, okay, are you getting your credit together? Are you taking care of the house that you're in now? It's one thing to start, shopping for the next place, but what are you doing in this place right now? Are you cleaning it? Are you taking care of it? Are you thankful for it? Or are you just complaining about it? Anyone can complain. I say this all the time. I say it at work. I say it outside of work. Anybody can identify a problem. It takes a true, honest person to come with a solution to the problem. It takes a different kind of person to come up with a solution. I can point out a million things that I do not like, but can I come with a solution? Or can I come with, honestly, some just admittance to, or just some conscious thought to it where I'm just like, okay, this is where my life is right now, and this is where I want to go. Let's make a plan. If you know me, you know I'm a planner. I'm going to plan just a little bit. A lot of it, actually. I'm a planner. I enjoy knowing what things are going to happen, at least in a skeleton form, what I want to happen and how I choose to get there and what I think will get me there. But I think on top of that, I need to involve God in my plans. For me to say, okay, I'm going to drop this many pounds, by the end of the year. I can come up with a plan. I can come up with a diet. I can come up with a regimen of working out. I need to include for me, God in my plans. God, get me through this. God, get me up in the morning, please. Help me with my waking up and my eating right. Am I going to bed at a decent time? Those are the things that I feel like people don't really take into context. Now, of course, this is a very spiritually focused episode. And that is because this is my belief. My belief is in God. My belief is in Jesus. For those of you who don't follow this exact name, then of course insert here. But for me, this is what is important. I think when you are getting ready for the next step, you need to sit down and have a moment, right? really understand, put some discernment into what you're doing and see your plan, see your vision, and then consult higher, right? When you're requesting off, whether you going to take it, if it's approved or denied, you consult with your boss, right? You put that time in, unless you're an entrepreneur, you put that time in and it gets approved, and or you're submitting a business proposal or something like that, it has to be approved. So that's the way I look at it, through me talking with God about it. I'm going to go forward with this plan. I just need your help. And asking for help is hard. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it is something that we should do. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. It is sort of like goal setting, but mostly appreciating what you have right now and how can you use that to give it to another person. So think about your goals. Think about your gifts. What gifts do you have that you could use to serve others as well? Comment your gift or your goal down below and just let me know that you guys are also in this season of stewardship, because I know it's a boatload of us that are, and I know we probably don't have the right words for it, or we can't really seem to get it out. But that is what I want us to understand. And then maybe if you guys have a different you know name or definition for stewardship, let me know down below. I'm open to everyone's input. But it's been real. It's been fun. You guys will hear me out for another one next Friday. I love you. Stay safe and have a good one. Okay, bye.